Welcome everyone to this presentation on a brief history of TA. I am saluting my teachers before I go on to teach on TA. The story of TA begins with Dr. Eric Berne. Eric Berne trained Muriel James. Muriel James trained Father George Kandathil, who brought TA to India in the early 70s. And Sister Annie Maria and Shashi Chandran were trained by Father George, and they were both instrumental in training me. Thank you, teachers. Now here is a picture tribute to my teachers. Eric Berne, followed by Muriel James, followed by Father George Kandathil. Now Sister Annie Maria and Shashi Chandran. And here I am before you. My primary trainer was Annie, followed by Shashi Chandran. Here I am showing you the origins of TA. Eric Berne's study from where he wrote all the books. I had the good fortune to visit this place in year 2009. Here is a list of the colleagues of Eric Berne who were contemporaries of him, along with him, who helped him develop TA theory as it is now. Primarily the ideas were Berne's. He presented to this think tank group who gave him feedback, suggestions, came up with new thoughts and developed a lot of new concepts also. Even before the time Eric Berne passed away, all these people contributed in many ways to the theory. Of course, a lot of them developed later also, and there are more people also. We will see them. These are some of the major contributors of TA in India. Father George, Sister Candida, Sebastian, Sister Annie, and Sebastian have passed away, and Saru has passed away. Chitra Devi was president of the ITA in the world level. Surya Prakash was president of the ITA. Shashi Chandran is running a big institute in Coimbatore called Nitya Gurukula. I am the only one who does this in Kerala. And there are many more trainers who have come up in the last few years. Oswald Samartan and Pearl Drago has contributed to TA literature in the TA journal in a big way. This is again a picture tribute to all the TA stalwarts I have been saying. So first you see Claude Steiner, then Muriel James. This is Vanita English. This is Jeannie Leslie Clark. I have had the good opportunity to meet all of them when I visited the US for a conference in 2014. Here you are seeing Steve Cartman, Richard Erskine, Jan Grant, who is still in Australia. This is Bill Connell. Bill Connell has written so much in the journal. Steve Cartman developed the driver and the mini-script concepts. Richard Erskine developed the integrated theory. Jan Grant is an educator and she's the chair of ethics committee now. These are some more big names in TA. Van Joynes and Ian Stewart wrote the TA Today, which is a very popular training book. Thomas Harris is famous for his book I Am Okay, You Are Okay, which is a very popular book. Julie Hay is a person who has done certification in all the 4 areas, and she's a trainer primarily, and she has a book on training. Jim Allen has written a lot of clinical experience and has made a book on that. Bill Connell continues to write in the TA journal on his experience. More picture tributes. This is Julie Hay. This is Marco Massetti from Italy. This is Monique Tunisen and this is Rebecca Trotman. I took these pictures when I saw them. They are all great contributors. Jan and me worked on the 101 project. Heath was the president of ITA. Robin is still the editor of the TAG journal. Carol made the Eric Berne archives. Now let's look at the philosophical basis of TA. The most important is that people are okay. And this okayness is irrespective of caste, color, creed, geographical origin, whatever. And the second important thing is that everyone who has a functional brain can think. And those who think can make decisions. And those who make decisions can change their decisions. So it's based on this decisional model that the whole theory is made. Eric Berne has made an observation about some facts of life. It's based on these observations that the basic principles of TA has been modulated. Let's see what are they. Berne's observations was about some practical truths and accordingly the existential needs of human beings. So he says we were all born as babies, so the babies need to grow up. But the babies never remained as babies, they grew up. And so they have to do everyday problem solving. And none of the babies grew up without parents' help. So what has happened is we have learned from the parents and we have to function like parents for our future generation. So Berne said everyone without brain damage can think. So there is some neurological processes involved in the development of our personality. So what may be the neurological processes? Let's look at that. So Berne said everyone without brain damage can think. So there is a neurological basis we saw. So what do we know about the brain? The recent understanding of brain is that brain is like plastic, meaning it can mold, not like the regular plastic, the quality of plasticity. So it's not like firm and hard. So every learning makes learning imprints on the brain, or the brain is changing every day. So what are the processes involved in this brain's plasticity? Most important is neurogenesis, the capability of producing new nerve cells even in the adult person. This is a big thing I am saying here because earlier neuroscience had thought no new nerve cells are formed in adults. But today we have documented evidence, especially in selected areas, every day, even to the day of our death, new nerve cells are being formed. So neuroplasticity is the big thing about the plasticity of the brain. It also consists of other aspects than new nerve cell formation. Neurogenesis we saw is new nerve cell formation. The other aspects are new nerve connections. Old nerve connections can be broken and new nerve connections can be made. The connections can be made loosened or tightened. So basically it includes neuroplasticity includes destroying connections, forming new connections, change in quality at the synapse, and also change in quality of the spike zone of the synapse. Let's see how actually the experiences make impressions on the brain or changes in the brain. A nerve cell fires or gets activated when there is any experience. As you are listening to me or as you look at something, there is an electrical activation going on in the brain. And so that is an experience. And when the many nerves are stimulated, they all work together to make meaning to this experience. So that is called wiring together. So when a nerve fires, all the nerves that are wired together with it fires together. So that's how it forms nervous connections and new learning in the nervous level. Over the time, they can rewire. That is, as and when we repeatedly talk about our learning experience, or maybe we share about the feelings associated with the learning, or maybe we ask people to think of it. So these are all ways in which the fired nerves can be made to fire again together, so reinforcing learning. So wiring and firing and wiring is what continuously goes on in the brain. Again reiterating, it is wiring and rewiring and firing that goes on in the brain. Now let's look at the structure of the personality. The structure of the personality is explained using a term called ego state. An ego state is a unit of the personality. There are many ego states. One ego state is designed or defined as a consistent pattern of feeling, experience associated with a consistent pattern of behavior. So it is behavior, feeling and experience that goes together which makes one ego state. It's a unit. We'll learn the details in the next class. Thank you.